Question 1. Which of the following describes the cloud design principle of scalability? A. The ability to automatically increase available compute resources to meet growing user demand. B. The ability to route incoming client requests between multiple application servers. C. The ability to segment physical resources into multiple virtual partitions. D. The ability to reduce production costs by spreading capital expenses across many accounts. Answer B is correct. A scalable deployment will automatically scale up its capacity to meet growing user demand without the need for manual interference. Question 2. Which of the following best describes the cloud service model known as Infrastructure as a Service, IaaS? A. End user access to software applications delivered over the Internet. B. Access to a simplified interface through which customers can directly deploy their application code without having to worry about managing the underlying infrastructure. C. Customer rental of the use of measured units of a provider's physical compute, storage, and networking resources. D. Abstracted interfaces built to manage clusters of containerized workloads. Answer C is correct. IaaS is a model that gives customers access to virtualized units of a provider's physical resources. IaaS customers manage their infrastructure much the way they would local, physical servers. Question 3. How does AWS ensure that no single customer consumes an unsustainable proportion of available resources? A. AWS allows customers to consume as much as they're willing to pay for, regardless of general availability. B. AWS imposes default limits on the use of its service resources but allows customers to request higher limits. C. AWS imposes hard default limits on the use of its service resources. D. AWS imposes default limits on the use of its services by basic account holders. Premium account holders face no limits. Answer B is correct. AWS applies usage limits on most features of its services. However, in many cases, you can apply for a limit to be lifted. Question 4. The AWS free tier is designed to give new account holders the opportunity to get to know how their services work without necessarily costing any money. How does it work? A. You get service credits that can be used to provision and launch a few typical workloads. B. You get full free access to a few core AWS services for 1 month. C. You get low-cost access to many core AWS services for 3 months. D. You get free lightweight access to many core AWS services for a full 12 months. Answer D is correct. The free tier offers you free lightweight access to many core AWS services for a full 12 months. Question 5. AWS customers receive production system down support within 1 hour when they subscribe to which support plans? A. Enterprise. B. Business and Enterprise. C. Developer and Basic. D. All plans get this level of support. Answer B is correct. Production system down support within 1 hour is available only to subscribers to the Business or Enterprise support plans. Question 6. AWS customers get full access to the AWS Trusted Advisor best practice checks when they subscribe to which support plans? A. All plans get this level of support. B. Basic and Business. C. Business and Enterprise. D. Developer, Business, and Enterprise. Answer D is correct. All support plans come with full access to Trusted Advisor except for the free, Basic plan. Question 7. The AWS shared responsibility model illustrates how AWS itself, as opposed to its customers, is responsible for which aspects of the cloud environment? A. The redundancy and integrity of customer-added data. B. The underlying integrity and security of AWS physical resources. C. Data and configurations added by customers. D. The operating systems run on EC2 instances. Answer B is correct. According to the shared responsibility model, AWS is responsible for the underlying integrity and security of AWS physical resources, but not the integrity of the data and configurations added by customers. Question 8. Which of these is a designation for 2 or more AWS data centers within a single geographic area? A. Availability zone. B. Region. C. Network subnet. D. GeoUnit. Answer A is correct. An availability zone is one of 2 or more physical data centers located within a single AWS region. Question 9. How Using security best practices, should your organization's team members access your AWS account resources? A. Only a single team member should be given any account access. B. Through a jointly shared single account user who's been given full account-wide permissions. C. Through the use of specially created users, groups, and roles, each given the fewest permissions necessary. D. Ideally, resource access should occur only through the use of access keys. Answer C is correct. Team members should each be given identities, as users, groups, and/or roles, configured with exactly the permissions necessary to do their jobs and no more. Question 10. Which of the following describes a methodology that protects your organization's data when it's on-site locally, in transit to AWS, and stored on AWS? A. Client-side encryption. B. Server-side encryption. C. Cryptographic transformation. D. Encryption at rest. Answer A is correct. End-to-end encryption that protects data at every step of its life cycle is called client-side encryption. Question 11. What authentication method will you use to access your AWS resources remotely through the AWS Command Line Interface, CLI? A. Strong password. B. Multi-factor authentication. C. SSH key pairs. D. Access keys. Answer D is correct. AWS CLI requests are authenticated through access keys. Question 12. Which of these is the primary benefit from using resource tags with your AWS assets? A. Tags enable the use of remote administration operations via the AWS CLI. B. Tags make it easier to identify and administrate running resources in a busy AWS account. C. Tags enhance data security throughout your account. D. Some AWS services won't work without the use of resource tags. Answer B is correct. Resource tags, especially when applied with consistent naming patterns, can make it easier to visualize and administrate resources on busy accounts. Question 13. What defines the base operating system and software stack that will be available for a new Elastic Compute Cloud, EC2, instance when it launches? A. The Virtual Private Cloud, VPC, into which you choose to launch your instance. B. The instance type you select. C. The Amazon Machine Image, AMI, you select. D. You don't need to define the base OS, you can install that once the instance launches. Answer C is correct. The AMI you select while configuring your new instance defines the base OS. Question 14. Which of the following AWS compute services offers an administration experience that most closely resembles the way you would run physical servers in your own local data center? A. Simple Storage Service, S3. B. Elastic Container Service, ECS. C. Elastic Compute Cloud, EC2. D. Lambda. Answer C is correct. You can administrate EC2 instances using techniques that are similar to the way you'd work with physical servers. Question 15. Which of the following AWS object storage services offers the lowest ongoing charges, but at the cost of some convenience? A. Glacier. B. Storage Gateway. C. Simple Storage Service, S3. D. Elastic Block Store, EBS. Answer A is correct. Amazon Glacier can reliably store large amounts of data for a very low price but requires CLI or SDK administration access, and retrieving your data can take hours. Question 16. Which of the following AWS storage services can make the most practical sense for petabyte-sized archives that currently exist in your local data center? A. Saving to a Glacier Vault. B. Saving to a Simple Storage Service, S3, bucket. C. Saving to an Elastic Block Store, EBS, volume. D. Saving to an AWS Snowball device. Answer D is correct. You can transfer large data stores to the AWS cloud, to S3 buckets, by having Amazon send you a Snowball device to which you copy your data and which you then ship back to Amazon. Question 17. Which of the following will provide the most reliable and scalable relational database experience on AWS? A. Relational Database Service, RDSB. Running a database on an EC2 instance. C. DynamoDB. D. Redshift. Answer A is correct. RDS offers a managed and highly scalable database environment for most popular relational database engines, including MySQL, MariaDB, and Oracle. Question 18. What's the best and simplest way to increase reliability of an RDS database instance? A. Increase the available IOPS. B. Choose the Aurora database engine when you configure your instance. C. Enable multi-IaaS. D. Duplicate the database in a second AWS region. Answer C is correct. Multi-IaaS will automatically replicate your database in a second availability zone for greater reliability. It will, of course, also double your costs. Question 19. How does AWS describe an isolated networking environment into which you can launch compute resources while closely controlling network access? A. Security group. B. Virtual private cloud, VPC. C. Availability zone. D. Internet gateway. Answer B is correct. A VPC is an isolated networking environment into which you can launch compute resources while closely controlling network access. Question 20. What service does AWS use to provide a content delivery network, CDN, for its customers? A. VPC peering. B. Internet gateway. C. Route 53. D. CloudFront. Answer D is correct. CloudFront is a content delivery network, CDN, that distributes content through its global network of edge locations. Question 21. What is Amazon's Git-compliant version control service for integrating your source code with AWS resources? A. Code commit. B. Code build. C. Code deploy. D. Cloud9. Answer A is correct. Code commit is a Git-compliant version control service for integrating your source code with AWS resources. Question 22. Which AWS service allows you to build a script-like template representing complex resource stacks that can be used to launch precisely defined environments involving the full range of AWS resources? A. Lightsail. B. EC2. C. Code deploy. D. CloudFormation. Answer D is correct. CloudFormation templates can represent complex resource stacks that can be used to launch precisely defined environments involving the full range of AWS resources. Question 23. What is Amazon Athena? A. A service that permits queries against data stored in Amazon S3. B. A service that permits processing and analyzing of real-time video and data streams. C. A NoSQL database engine. D. A Greece-based Amazon Direct Connect service partner. Answer A is correct. Amazon Athena is a managed service that permits queries against S3 stored data. Question 24. What is Amazon Kinesis? A. A service that permits queries against data stored in Amazon S3. B. A service that permits processing and analyzing of real-time video and data streams. C. A NoSQL database engine. D. A Greece-based Amazon Direct Connect service partner. Answer B is correct. Amazon Kinesis allows processing and analyzing of real-time video and data streams. Question 25. What is Amazon Cognito? A. A service that can manage authentication and authorization for your public-facing applications. B. A service that automates the administration of authentication secrets used by your AWS resources. C. A service that permits processing and analyzing of real-time video and data streams. D. A relational database engine. Answer A is correct. Amazon Cognito can manage authentication and authorization for your public-facing applications. Question 26. Which of the following does not contribute significantly to the operational value of a large cloud provider like AWS? A. Multi-regional presence. B. Highly experienced teams of security engineers. C. Deep experience in the retail sphere. D. Metered, pay-per-use pricing. Answer C is correct. Having globally distributed infrastructure and experienced security engineers makes a provider's infrastructure more reliable. Metered pricing makes a wider range of workloads possible. Question 27. Which of the following are signs of a highly available application? Select 2. A failure in one geographic region will trigger an automatic failover to resources in a different region. B. Applications are protected behind multiple layers of security. C. Virtualized hypervisor-driven systems are deployed as mandated by company policy. D. Spikes in user demand are met through automatically increasing resources. Answer A and D are correct. Security and virtualization are both important characteristics of successful cloud workloads, but neither will directly impact availability. Question 28. How does the metered payment model make many benefits of cloud computing possible? Select 2. A. Greater application security is now possible. B. Experiments with multiple configuration options are now cost-effective. C. Applications are now highly scalable. D. Full-stack applications are possible without the need to invest in capital expenses. Answer B and D is correct. Security and scalability are important cloud elements but are not related to metered pricing. Question 29. Which of the following are direct benefits of server virtualization? Select 2. A. Fast resource provisioning and launching. B. Efficient, high-density use of resources. C. Greater application security. D. Elastic application designs. Answer A and B are correct. Security and elasticity are important but are not directly related to server virtualization. Question 30. What is a hypervisor? A. Hardware device used to provide an interface between storage and compute modules. B. Hardware device used to provide an interface between networking and compute modules. C. Software used to log and monitor virtualized operations. D. Software used to administrate virtualized resources run on physical infrastructure. Answer D is correct. A hypervisor is software, not hardware, that administrates virtualized operations. Question 31. Which of the following best describes server virtualization? A. Sharding data from multiple sources into a single virtual data store. B. Logically partitioning physical compute and storage devices into multiple smaller virtual devices. C. Aggregating physical resources spread over multiple physical devices into a single virtual device. D. Abstracting the complexity of physical infrastructure behind a simple web interface. Answer B is correct. Sharding, aggregating remote resources, and abstracting complex infrastructure can all be accomplished using virtualization techniques, but they aren't, of themselves, virtualization. Question 32. Which of the following best describes infrastructure as a service products? A. Services that hide infrastructure complexity behind a simple interface. B. Services that provide a service to end users through a public network. C. Services that give you direct control over underlying compute and storage resources. D. Platforms that allow developers to run their code over short periods on cloud servers. Answer C is correct. PaaS products mask complexity. SaaS products provide end-user services, and serverless architectures, like AWS Lambda, let developers run code on cloud servers. Question 33. Which of the following best describes platform as a service products? A. Services that hide infrastructure complexity behind a simple interface. B. Platforms that allow developers to run their code over short periods on cloud servers. C. Services that give you direct control over underlying compute and storage resources. D. Services that provide a service to end users through a public network. Answer A is correct. IaaS products provide full infrastructure access, SaaS products provide end-user services, and serverless architectures, like AWS Lambda, let developers run code on cloud servers. Question 34. Which of the following best describes software as a service products? A. Services that give you direct control over underlying compute and storage resources. B. Services that provide a service to end users through a public network. C. Services that hide infrastructure complexity behind a simple interface. D. Platforms that allow developers to run their code over short periods on cloud servers. Answer B is correct. IaaS products provide full infrastructure access, PaaS products mask complexity, and serverless architectures, like AWS Lambda, let developers run code on cloud servers. Question 35. Which of the following best describes scalability? A. The ability of an application to automatically add pre-configured compute resources to meet increasing demand. B. The ability of an application to increase or decrease compute resources to match changing demand. C. The ability to more densely pack virtualized resources onto a single physical server. D. The ability to bill resource usage using a pay-per-user model. Answer A is correct. Increasing or decreasing compute resources better describes elasticity. Efficient use of virtualized resources and billing models aren't related directly to scalability. Question 36. Which of the following best describes elasticity? A. The ability to more densely pack virtualized resources onto a single physical server. B. The ability to bill resource usage using a pay-per-user model. C. The ability of an application to increase or decrease compute resources to match changing demand. D. The ability of an application to automatically add pre-configured compute resources to meet increasing demand. Answer C is correct. Pre-configuring compute instances before they're used to scale up an application is an element of scalability rather than elasticity. Efficient use of virtualized resources and billing models aren't related directly to elasticity. Question 37. Which of the following characteristics most help AWS provide such scalable services? Select 2. A. The enormous number of servers it operates. B. The value of its capitalized assets. C. Its geographic reach. D. Its highly automated infrastructure administration systems. Answer A and D are correct. Capitalized assets and geographic reach are important but don't have a direct impact on operational scalability. Question 38. Which of the following EC2 services can be used without charge under the free tier? A. Any single EC2 instance type as long as it runs for less than 1 hour per day. B. Any single EC2 instance type as long as it runs for less than 75 hours per month.
C. A single T2.micro EC2 instance for 750 hours per month.
D. T2.micro EC2 instance type instances for a total of 750 hours per month. Answer D is correct. Only the T2 micro instance type is free tier eligible, and any combination of T2.micro instances can be run up to a total of 750 hours per month. Question 39. You want to experiment with deploying a web server on an EC2 instance. Which two of the following resources can you include to make that work while remaining within the free tier? Select 2. A. A 5 GB bucket on S3. B. A T2.micro instance type EC2 instance. C. A 30 GB solid-state elastic block store, EBS, drive. D. 220 GB solid-state elastic block store, EBS, drives. Answer B and C are correct. S3 buckets, while available in such volumes under the free tier, are not necessary for an EC2 instance. Since the maximum total EBS space allowed by the free tier is 30 GB, 220 GB would not be covered. Question 40. Which of the following usage will always be cost-free even after your account's free tier has expired? Select 2. A. 1 million API calls/month on Amazon API Gateway. B. 10 GB of data retrievals from Amazon Glacier per month. C. 500 MB per month of free storage on the Amazon Elastic Container Registry, ECR. D. 10 custom monitoring metrics and 10 alarms on Amazon CloudWatch. Answer B and D are correct. The API calls per month and ECR free storage are available only under the free tier. Question 41. Which of the following tools are available to ensure you won't accidentally run past your free tier limit and incur unwanted costs? Select 2. A. Automated email alerts when activity approaches the free tier limits. B. The top free tier services by usage section on the Billing and Cost Management dashboard. C. Billing and Cost Management section on the top free tier services dashboard. D. The Billing Preferences dashboard. Answer A and B are correct. There is no top free tier services dashboard or, for that matter, a Billing Preferences dashboard. Question 42. Which of the following is likely to be an accurate source of AWS pricing information? A. Wikipedia pages relating to a particular service. B. The AWS Command Line Interface, AWS CLI. C. AWS Online Documentation relating to a particular service. D. The AWS Total Cost of Ownership Calculator. Answer C is correct. Wikipedia pages aren't updated or detailed enough to be helpful in this respect. The AWS CLI isn't likely to have much, if any, pricing information. The TCO calculator shouldn't be used for specific and up-to-date information about service pricing. Question 43. Which of the following will probably not affect the pricing for an AWS service? A. Requests for raising the available service limit. B. AWS region. C. The volume of data saved to an S3 bucket. D. The volume of data egress from an Amazon Glacier vault. Answer A is correct. Pricing will normally change based on the volume of service units you consume in, often, between AWS regions. Question 44. Which of the following is a limitation of the AWS Simple Monthly Calculator? A. You can calculate resource use for only one service at a time. B. Not all AWS services are included. C. The pricing is seldom updated and doesn't accurately reflect current pricing. D. You're not able to specify specific configuration parameters. Answer B is correct. You can, in fact, calculate costs for a multi-service stack. The calculator pricing is kept up to date. You can specify very detailed configuration parameters. Question 45. Which of the following simple monthly calculator selections will likely have an impact on most other configuration choices on the page? Select 2. A. Calculate by month or year. B. Include multiple organizations. C. Free usage tier. D. Choose region. Answer C and D are correct. Calculate by month or year is not an option, and since the calculator calculates only cost by usage, include multiple organizations wouldn't be a useful option. Question 46. Which of the following is not an included parameter in the AWS total cost of ownership calculator? A. The tax implications of a cloud deployment. B. Labor costs of an on-premises deployment. C. Networking costs of an on-premises deployment. D. Electricity costs of an on-premises deployment. Answer A is correct. The calculator covers all significant costs associated with an on-premises deployment but doesn't include local or national tax implications. Question 47. Which of the following AWS total cost of ownership calculator parameters is likely to have the greatest impact on cost? A. Currency. B. AWS region. C. Guest OS. D. Number of servers. Answer D is correct. The currency you choose to use will have little impact on price, it's all relative, of course. The guest OS and region will make a difference, but it's relatively minor. Question 48. Which of the following AWS documentation URLs points to the page containing an up-to-date list of service limits? A. https docs.aws.amazon.com general latest gr limits.html. B. https docs.aws amazon.com general latest gr aws service limits.html. C. https aws.amazon.com general latest gr aws service limits.html. D. https docs.aws.amazon.com latest gr aws service limits.html. Answer B is correct. The correct URL is https docs.aws.amazon.com general latest gr aws service limits.html. Question 49. Which of the following best describes one possible reason for AWS service limits? A. To prevent individual customers from accidentally launching a crippling level of resource consumption. B. To more equally distribute available resources between customers from different regions. C. To allow customers to more gradually increase their deployments. D. Because there are logical limits to the ability of AWS resources to scale upward. Answer A is correct. Resource limits exist only within individual regions. The limits in one region don't impact another. There's no logistical reason that customers can't scale up deployments at any rate. There are, in fact, no logical limits to the ability of AWS resources to scale upward. Question 50. Is it always possible to request service limit increases from AWS? A. Yes. All service limits can be increased. B. No. A limit can never be increased. C. Service limits are defaults. They can be increased or decreased on demand. D. No. Some service limits are hard. Answer D is correct. While most service limits are soft and can be raised on request, there are some service limits that are absolute.